Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? How are you guys doing? We're waiting for our famous family friends from YouTube to go live. We're just waiting for them to come on live. There we go. Everybody, hello, Facebook, YouTube, everybody, how are you doing? It's your guy, DeMarcus. We're going to go into this more, but let's start off with our quote for today. And as always, remember, your focus determines your reality. And this is a big one, especially considering this is the beginning of the year. This is where you need to really kind of dig in and determine what your focus is. You know what your goals are. You know what those New Year's resolutions have become. So now it's time for you to dig in and figure out how to get them. And that's what we're going to do today. So let's get it. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are you? I'm DeMarcus. I'm here for your motivational mix. I appreciate you being here. The reason I'm looking kind of scrubby, like I said, I'm still getting over a cold. But like I said, if I want to get to that next level, I can't take off a cold day. You know, that cold day that I'm taking off, like E.T. says, taking off that one day might actually put you back 6 months, a year. You never know how far it puts you back, because you may not be able to do and meet who you're supposed to do, and do what you're supposed to do. So I still got to do it. Still got to get them to go to work and, you know, hustle, put my energy and focus into something. But I'm just have to dress a little warmer and look a little weird, so it's okay. So today we're talking about that Hocus Pocus focus. Oh, let me bring up the banner for us today. Boom! DeMarcus Tunstall. YouTube, follow us on YouTube if you guys want to watch on YouTube. Humble and Focus. The beta project is what it's called. And today is Get What You Want, Hocus Pocus Focus. Boom! So the reason I did Hocus Pocus Focus is because, one, it rhymes. It sounds really cool. Because Hocus Pocus, we have a tendency to get things, and we don't know how we got them. And one of the things I want to go into is realize that it's not magic. That the Hocus Pocus does not go with the focus. It's 100% determined, and you will yield exactly what you put into it. So once again, let me go back to that quote. Let me bring that quote back. What you focus on determines your reality. So what kind of reality are you looking for? What do you want more of in your life? Do you want more time with your kids? Do you want to give more? Do you want to have more money for charity and giving? Do you want to spend more time in the Lord, learning and becoming that? Do you want more financial freedom? Do you want vacation time? Do you want time, just free time to do more things? Do you want better health? Do you want a better body? Do you want, there's so many things that you could want. Like, obviously there's an infinite number of people. And obviously there's a finite number of people, but there's an infinite number of dreams out there, things that people want. And whatever you want, your focus has to dictate that piece. Okay, so let's get into it. I want you to think about this. When you want something really bad, what do you do to get it? What's your areas of expertise? How do you get what you want? A lot of people don't even know how they get what they want. It just kind of comes up. It's what you put your energy and your focus into. And your energy and the focus will determine everything. It will determine how things go left and right, up and down, all of that stuff. It matters. So if we learn to coattail and to direct our energy and focus, then all of a sudden we can do more. And we can start to achieve the results that we want. So guess what? We're going to go to our whiteboard. Woohoo! Boom. All right. So this is a very crude drawing, but it'll serve its purpose for today. Okay. Let's turn the screen a little bit. No, you can't see it. Okay. So let me go ahead and position this here so we can get this on the screen. There we go. All right, so position that a little bit, got a little bit different. So here we go. So we have our energy and we have our focus, and that's what's going to go into. Now this is basically our generator, and what's going to be here, this is what's going to be generated based on what we put in there. Now, the one thing that we know absolutely 100% will go into our machine that's going to generate anything that we choose is our energy focus. Our energy and focus here is a big deal. So what we put our energy into and what we put our focus into is going to yield something. The one thing that goes in this right here, no matter what you want your focus to be, what you want your end result to be, the one thing is going to end up going into the energy and focus into work. Work will always be here. Okay? Now, what's going to yield energy and focus for most people, you're going to be working a job because you want money, right? For whatever reason you might need your money for. So money is going to be your biggest byproduct. Okay? That's what it is. I mean, this is pretty simple stuff, right? Energy and focus go in. Let me put a plus sign so I know it's a plus. Energy plus focus go in, and it hits the work, and it yields you the money that you need, right? The problem is, and we're going to talk about I have a lot of people who are single moms. I have a lot of people who have kids and everything else, and they tell me all the time, I want to spend time with my kids. That's what I really want to do in my life, right? I'm like, cool. So here's the problem with what you want and what you're doing. You put your energy and focus into your work to yield you money. If you didn't notice, there's holes right here kind of coming down. This is what's trickling off. This is the residual waste, the waste of stuff. The residual waste here is time. So as you put your energy and focus into, and as you work and you're beginning to work hard, time is being wasted. Okay, you're wasting your time. Now, you yield money, which is a big deal because you got to pay bills. But the problem is that as you pay bills and you get all this, what's the residual runoff here? This is what most people want. This is the problem. This right here is the issue. Because what most people actually want is they want more time with their kids if we're talking about parenting. Okay? So the problem is that we've got to make money to support these children. So kids ends up being time with our kids. And we'll put time here. Time with kids ends up being the residual runoff of us making money. Because our individual time is being wasted, but our energy and our focus is going into work to make the money to support the kids, to give us time with the kids. So the problem is that we have a matrix that's backwards here. Now, why do I say it's backwards? Because we don't want money to be our main focus. Money's a necessity, but it should never be your main focus unless that is your main focus, and that's fine. But when time with kids is your main focus, you cannot allow this. This is why parents get off work, they're super tired, and they go home, they deal with their kids for maybe 3 or 4 hours, and their kids go to bed, right? Well, the thing is, who's raising your kids now? You're doing a little bit, but who's raising your children? Your children are raising themselves. The internet is raising your children. YouTube's raising your children. TV is raising your children. The problem is with those social media aspects and all that entertainment aspect, infidelity and crime and sex and drugs and rock and roll. I'm just kidding. They're all a part of what's going into your child's brain, and that's what's leading our children to this place. So let's think of it this way. Who else is raising your children? Well, other children are raising your kids, who they spend time with. Their teachers are raising your kids. Guess who's not raising their kids for real? You aren't. Because they're a byproduct of what you're trying to get. Now, you're trying to do the right thing because the world has taught you that this is the way it should go to get more time, to take care of your children. But what if it didn't have to be that way? So let's take time with kids out of it for a second, right? And instead of putting time with kids, let's put in here, vacations / free time. Same thing happens, energy, focus, guess what? We're back to money again. And our vacations and free time ends up being a byproduct of us making money. The problem with this is, once again, this is just a little small byproduct in the whole scale of things. So this is a giant chart here, and this was our time here. All of this was our time. Hold on, let me take this down real quick. Okay, there we go. So this is our time here, of our time chart. What we've got here is most of our time here, we'll say about that, is work. Then we have everything else. Why can't we change that? Why can't we change it? It makes no sense of why we do this. And the thing is, our time has been given. We give our time so freely as if it's a commodity that can be replenished. And it is not. Money can be replenished all day long. You can make as much money as possible, but you can never make more time. So now you need to be more specific with the time that you put into things. Understand that your time is limited. Your time is in short amounts. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. Think about this as a pyramid, right? The reason that society has us doing that, we work really hard and we get all this money, and then after we get the money, then we get our free time, is because they need us as a workforce. The rich of the world need us as a workforce. So we have to be smarter than that and realize what's actually going down. Now, you can work and create your own, but the problem is that if you've got a pyramid, that work is most of it, right? And then you have some other things in here, you got some things here and here. But the problem is that this thing right here, whether it be time with the kids, whether it be vacations, whether it be, we can say your body / health, which is a big deal. We give up our health for work as a byproduct. We'd rather work ourselves to death, right? So all of these things, including religion, time, free time, financial freedom, all these things are a byproduct. The problem is that when you think about a pyramid, if you pay attention to whenever the Egyptians built the pyramids, what did they build first? They always built the base first. What did they spend the most time on? Because it was the biggest. They spent the most time on the base. So we have to learn that we cannot put work at the bottom of our pyramid. Work is supposed to be what is a conduit, is a process to get us what we want, right? But we're utilizing work as if it's the end all be all. So what do we have to do? So what we have to do is this. That same pyramid that we're used to seeing, we got to turn it on its butt. Now, the reason I say turn it on its butt is because the most of the meat of the heaviness, the meat, the distance, the girth of the pyramid is always at the base. This is where we put our kids. This is where we put our vacays. This is where we could put our body, our health, our religion, our free time, our financial freedom. All this has to go up here. And we can give a little bit more work. That's fine. But at the same time, this is what our importance is. Now, how do we change this, and why does it matter? The reason that we have to change this is because what we want in 2019, we don't want the same issues going into 2019 that we had before, which is not a lot of time for our kids. You know, watching our kids grow up right in front of your eyes, you hear it all the time. And I'm not saying quit your job. That's not what I'm saying either. What we need to do is we need to discover a plan that kids come out to be the end all be all. Now, let me go back to it again. See, I've done all the framework. Let's go back to it. Always remember your focus determines your reality, right? So instead of focusing mostly on work, because work is a process, it's a byproduct, it's something we use, right? I mean, not byproduct, it's a process that we use to get something, right? So instead of work being the end all be all what most of your time is, if this is what you want, put what you want the most at the bottom and reverse engineer, just like I said up here, reverse engineer your pyramid to yield you what you want. Put your energy into your kids and figure out how to work yourself into getting more time with your kids. It can be done. I see it done all the time. Look online, look on YouTube. Some of the most professional speakers in the world and some of the people with the most money in the world decided to change their focus so they're not working every day. They're not worried about they're worried about their kids, their health, their body, all these things, vacays. They want to worry about that first. And by doing that, they reinvented their wheel. So that no longer the things that are most important to us are just a byproduct of the work we put into the world. Instead, it is the main focus and everything drives that. If we are focusing on our children, if we are focusing on our charity, giving, religion, financial freedom, time, and health, if we remember that is what our focus is, that's how we determine our reality. That means all we have to do is stop allowing ourselves to work ourselves and waste our time in work and utilize the aspect of if time is a commodity that is not given, we need to be putting it towards all the things in our lives that are most important. Our parents have worked a 40 years for 40 hours a week to get 40% of their income. That is what our parents did. It's now time to change that model. Now, why do we have to change that model? Because that model doesn't work nowadays. People aren't gonna be allowed to work 40 years, and companies know it. They'll get rid of you and get somebody new, get a computer that does the same thing you do. They say by 2020, I think it's 2021, 30% of our workforce will be computers. So you can't just say, I'm gonna have a job. There's no security in that. It's no longer. So if you know that your job is security, if you take this out and you put work back in here, right? But then all of a sudden, you don't have a job to make money, that means the base of your pyramid is not stable. But if your job is your children and your vacation and your body and your health, and you put your time and your energy into that, and you let everything else go around it to build what you want, now all of a sudden you still have a stable pyramid, and it's what you want and what you love. So here's what I need you to do. This is what I need you to do. Let me put this back up here so you know what it is. This is what I need you to do. I need you to focus in on what you want. If you want more time with your kids, if you want more vacations, if you want to give more for charity, if you want to give more for religion, if you want to give more financial freedom, if you want to get more time, health, whatever you want, make that your priority and make sure that the rest of your life dictates and goes around and produces as a result more of that. instead of less of that. If you want more time with your wife, going to work for 40 to 80 hours a week to provide her with something is not going to yield you more time. What is going to yield you is money. And you know, whenever you're with her, you can take her on vacations, but then you're going to have to go back to work again. You get what I'm saying? So make sure that whatever you want in life, and I'm about to get off here, whatever you want in life, make sure that is your focus. 100% focus. Don't get anything else. So I want you to start. We're going to get this here, and then I'll be done. So the middle of this thing right here is your focus. Okay? Inside of this, it is what you want. Now, the reason I put that in the middle is because that needs to be where your energy goes. So what we need to do is just, you've seen these in school, man, these little dream bubbles or brainstorming bubbles, is if what you want is in the middle, kids, vacation, whatever, we need to figure out a way to make sure that our job accomplishes that. We need to make sure that our money is accomplishing that. You might have to take an L. Are you willing to take a loss to spend more time with your kids? To not, maybe they don't have as many iPads. Maybe they don't have, you know, Nikes. Instead, they got Reeboks. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to take the time to spend more time with your children? Are you willing to cut back on what you're giving them and have a simpler life, but you got more with your kids? But I guarantee you, as you grow, you'll start to realize that if you focus in on what you want, you'll be happier. Your children will be happier. You'll have more vacation time, so you'll be happier. Your health, sometimes you just need to give up your job for your health. I'm telling you right now, I was working at a job that was killing me, and my heart was feeling it. And if I wouldn't have given it up, I'd probably be dead right now. And I'm not even lying to you. I'm 35 years old, about to be 36. And I'm sitting here thinking I'm literally going to die because I keep going to work every day. But that wasn't what I wanted. But now I'm up here driving Uber because what I want is I want to help people. So I got to find ways for me personally to help other people. And it works. My job, what I want personally, is to help. That's why I do these videos, right? To help, so I do my vids. I drive Uber, get people there safely, have conversations, talk with them. I also read and watch videos and listen to podcasts. Now, why do I do all this? Because it's giving me what I want, and I want to be able to help people. Now, if I don't indulge in what I want, then I'll never be able to get it. But my life now is changed. Money's no longer here. You see what I'm saying? So if money was here, and I put helping people out there, then what I actually want is not being yielded. Money's being yielded. Now, money does help people, yes, but wouldn't you much rather have help people in here and still make money out here and use the money to help people? That's all I need you to think about. I want you to think about what you want. And whenever you get it in your mind, what you want, draw up a plan to get you that piece. The money will come. If you figure it all out and you focus in on that piece, the money will show itself. So don't focus on the money to help create the life. Focus on the life, and the life will help you create the money. And that's all I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for spending 18 minutes with me. I appreciate it. But I believe and I love each and every one of you. It's January 2nd. Time to go get it. Remember, this is you said you had some things that you want to get for 2019. 2018 was a bad year for you, right? So now there's no excuses. So what are you going to do to make sure that your future is your future and you're getting the most out of what you want? Are you going to let somebody else tell you? And I'll get off of this after this. E.T. said something. He said to me, not to me, but to the group, he said, what are you willing to do to make sure another man or woman or person or entity or government doesn't disrupt what you want in your life? And he said that based on the fact that they were putting kids in boxes and shipping them back, putting kids in cages, people in cages and shipping them back. What are you willing to do to make sure that there's not another person disrupting your life? And I want you to focus in on that. And then I want you to go to the middle, draw yourself a bubble, figure out what you want, put it in the middle of that bubble, and then draw into it, not the other way around. Money is a byproduct of everything else. They taught us differently because they need us in the workforce. And the only way they can control us in the workforce is by telling us that we need money to survive and live. And we do. But there's ways to get it where we don't have to waste 40 hours a week plus just to do it. If we look at it, one more thing. Let's look at the chart here. Let's see. This is 24 hours, right? Let's just say we get 8 hours of sleep. Okay. 8 hours of sleep. We get 8 hours of work. Some of you guys want to go to the gym for about an hour, maybe 2. All that leaves you with, ladies and gentlemen, is 5 hours to spend with whatever you want. But instead, what if you, instead of, this is what you want, so we'll put your wants up here. 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours. So what if instead of focusing on, you know, everything else to yield you the 5 and 6 hours that you want here, what if instead of you made your work part of this? And so your work yields what you want. You want more time with your kids? Why don't you start a business with your children that allows them to work with you, so now you got more time with your kids, you can watch them grow. Or, you know, create, if you want to do that, why don't you create something that actually gives money to the gym, so somehow you're with your kids and the gym at the same time. There's always a way. This is the biggest deal right here, ladies and gentlemen. We spend a lot of time at work because work yields money and money pays bills, but we don't realize that we can work a certain way that still gives us what we want. If what you want right here is vacation time, why can't you do 8 hours and working and vacation so that you're actually on vacation while you work? It's just a different way of thinking. That's all. That's why it takes so long for me to do this video, because we're not just going into some abstract thought. This is real. 24 hours, just 16 of it if you're getting 8 hours of sleep, which you're supposed to, because otherwise it goes into hell. 16 hours of your day, 2/3 of your day is already gone, and you only have that for your kids. But you got to understand, your kids go to bed early, so they're not going to get all 5 to 6 hours. So I assume give yourself about 3 hours with your kids, and then they're going to bed. So just keep that in mind. What you want. Stop putting out. Time is invaluable. We have hours in a day. We have a certain number of time on this earth. I can keel over at the end of this video, but at least I'm doing what I love, which is helping people through my videos. Find what you love, focus on what you love, and go from there. And I believe and I love, see, there we go, I'm focused on you. I believe and I love in each and every single one of you, and I appreciate you being here, and I hope you got something from this video. I know it's long, but it's worth it. So, hey, it's New Year. What are you focused on? Go get it. Hocus Pocus, focus. Talk to you soon.